all heard it. A dog's mouth is actually cleaner than a human's. But is it true? Let's get into it. Welcome back to Alpha Paw, your destination for everything dog. I'm Bernie Zilio, and I'm on a mission to answer every doggone question you have ever had about your fur babies. And today we are talking about whether our dogs' mouths are actually cleaner than our very own. Fortunately, we have an expert with us today, Dr. Ross Bernstein. Dr. Ross is a seasoned veterinary professional and pet care expert. He earned his doctorate degree in veterinary medicine at UC Davis School of Veterinary Medicine, and his work has been featured in several industry-leading publications, including the Journal of Veterinary Surgery. He is our go-to vet for everything we want and need to know about our fur babies. So welcome back to Alpha Paw, Dr. Ross.
Hey, Bernie.
Hey, Dr. Ross. So today's topic is one that doesn't necessarily apply to me, as I am not one to kiss my dog on the mouth. But
are you sure?
I am. And I'm a weird one and I would tell you, but it's just not my thing. I'll kiss his snoot, but I'm not full on making out with my dog. But you know what? We don't judge here. And a lot of people do. And so we need to discuss whether or not dogs' mouths are actually cleaner than our own, because I know that's something we've all heard a million times. So Dr. Ross, drum roll, please. Are dogs' mouths cleaner than ours?
No, not really.
Okay.
So I guess that depends what your definition of cleaner means. I would say both of our mouths are not clean. They are not sterile, that's for sure. They are teeming with hundreds, thousands, maybe even more different types of bacteria. Our mouth is not a sterile environment, but our mouths of people are going to have a slightly different population. I mean, I shouldn't say slightly. They're going to have different populations of bacteria than a dog's mouth. That we're each going to have our own enzymes and just antimicrobial properties in our mouths that will affect the populations of bacteria, but by no means are they sterile. So, and this is something that comes up all the time in my vet office is the dog, I guess it could be any species really, but they step on something, they get a cut in their foot and they're licking it. And they come in, the owner's like, oh, well, their tongues are very clean, so they're cleaning it. Or especially after surgery, they have their incision and they're licking it. And the owners think, oh, they're cleaning it. But really, no, their tongues are definitely not sterile. Their mouths are not clean. So that will only make the cut or infection worse.
It's so true, Dr. Ross. When you think about it, I mean, you're explaining dogs licking their wounds and licking, their incisions. The things that dogs put in their mouths, I mean, it's a wide range. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they pretty much will. They're very indiscriminate eaters. Their toys are on the floor. They're playing fetch outside. They eat their own poop. I mean, they'll put anything in their mouth. So it is not a clean place, really.
Yeah, it sounds like everything you're saying would lead me to believe that it's common sense that a dog's mouth is not clean. So I want to know who came up with that theory. But can you kind of settle it once and for all, Dr. Ross? From everything you're saying, it sounds like dogs' mouths are actually dirtier than humans. Is that correct?
Not exactly. So both species, dogs and people, both of our mouths are warm, damp, perfect environments for bacteria to go crazy and set up home. So our mouths are dirty too. Just that a dog's mouth and our mouths, they're going to have their own species of bacteria and own populations of bacteria, but they're both filled with them. So are they cleaner? Not exactly.
Basically, if I'm hearing this correctly, we are just as disgusting as our dogs, but disgusting in different ways. So my question for you, medically speaking and health-wise, is it okay to let our dogs kiss us and vice versa?
Do you mean sorry, let me clarify this. Do you mean French kiss? Okay, so they can lick you really anywhere, but
True. I guess mouth to mouth contact is what I'm asking. And again, I'd be the first to tell you if this was something I enjoyed doing. It's not, but friends of mine do. So let's get it out in the open. This is where we talk about the gross stuff.
I mean, yeah. Apart from it being gross, if they have any sort of wound in their mouth, if they have an abscess or they're bleeding or a cut and they actually have an infection. A lot of dogs, they're not keeping up with their dental care. So they can have.
You mean dogs aren't like flossing twice a day? Come on, Dr. Ross.
So, I mean, you don't really want to introduce that other bacteria into your mouth, which is kind of nasty. I mean, it might not do anything, but like just stay away from that if you can. But probably one of the more potentially dangerous things that can happen, like dogs eat their own poop, sometimes eat other species' poop. Sometimes they have parasites. They can have things like Giardia, for example, that can be transmitted to people. Some fecal orally transmitted parasites can definitely be passed that way. So you want to limit your contact with their mouth, I guess, in a roundabout way, their feces.
It's so
I would
gross when you
recommend
think
not
about
doing
it.
that.
And as you were talking, I was like, it's so true. Not only can they like eat feces, but like sometimes what if they pick up a dead rodent or something on the ground? Like, oh, I can't. So my
rodents often carry tapeworms. So that's another one that you should be worried about.
Exactly. And so it sounds to me like this is more of like a social thing. Like maybe it's not socially acceptable to be kissing your dog in the mouth, although you've kind of explained that we're both kind of gross. So it's not super dangerous. Just like kind of make sure that you know what your dog's doing. And if they're rummaging around in things that you probably wouldn't want to put in your own mouth, things like that to consider. And like, again, from my expert opinion, I think kissing your dog on the snoot is a happy medium. So anyway, thank you so much, Dr. Ross. This has been very, very helpful. And now we have finally answered the question whether our dogs' mouths are actually cleaner than ours. The answer is no, and we're all disgusting. Just kidding. Thank you so much for watching Alpha Paw. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, stories about makeout sessions with your dogs, go ahead and drop them down in the comment section below. Again, I'm Bernie Zilio, and this is Alpha Paw. Be sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single doggone episode. We'll see you next time.